Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So it is another one about transfer rumours. We do have a couple of rumours to go through. We have one that has recently just came out in the last hour or so over social media, and we also have a player from a rival side that has put in a transfer request, and there's a little bit of talk as to whether he might want to come to us. I don't know whether he will or not, but we'll get into it anyway. We also have some solid confirmed information that a youngster is going out on loan as well. So we will begin with the confirmed and factual information, which is Will Harris has gone out on loan for the remainder of the season to Barrow, which for me, I've been quietly wanting this for a while for Harris, because he keeps on going through these phases with the youth squads where he's absolutely tearing it to bits, and he's clearly too good for, you know, to be playing it within the youth side. You know, he's quick, he's got a real eye for goal, and he's got endeavour and of course passion, and he's got that work rate and the sort of work ethic that you want in a young striker, and he's got that hunger, and you can see that when I've had a look at you know, highlights and bits and pieces from the youth games. You can see at times he is a level above. But then, of course, then he'll get called up for 2 or 3 weeks for the first team, where he'll find himself on the bench. He'll come on for the last sort of 30 seconds of a game, or the last sort of 6 or 7 minutes of a game, and it's not really enough. So he's kind of in that middle par, isn't he, where maybe he is a bit too good to be consistently playing in the youth side, but he's not quite there at League One level yet. So he needs first team football to be playing week in, week out, and within men's football as well. And at Barrow, he'll get just that. So hopefully this will really make him Will Harris. So I'm really looking forward to see how he progresses there, and yeah, absolutely all the best to him and good luck to him, and hopefully he can, you know, bag a ton of goals and come back absolutely fit and firing and ready to fight for his place within this Sunderland side. But now going over to the transfer rumours, the big one that has just come out of the sort of hour or so is Macauley Bonne. Apparently both Sunderland and Wigan are after him. He's currently at Ipswich on loan from QPR. He's doing really well at Ipswich actually this season. I think he's scored 11 or so goals in like 22, 23 appearances. So it isn't too bad a return at all. But I believe that QPR are looking to get rid of him permanently. So of course he's on loan this season at Ipswich, but they're trying to cut ties and get rid of him permanently. Whether Ipswich are willing to do that, or you know, sign him permanently, I don't know. So I think now it looks like it's between both Wigan and Sunderland. For me, would I really want him? You know, I think he'd do well in this division. You know, it sounds like I'm being a bit picky, but for me, I'm just thinking of someone who would be more of a sort of like replacement for Nathan Broadhead, who's going to be out until the really sort of latter stages of the season. I believe Broadhead is going to be out until the sort of the running last few games of the season, and even then he probably won't even be able to get match fit in time to really affect a game. Hopefully he can, of course. But for me, I just want someone who can really like get in behind, who's quick. Macauley Bonne, for me, you know, he's got a little bit of pace about him, but he's not generally known, you know, for being as rapid as Broadhead anyway. So my standards are pretty high, probably unfairly. But you know, Macauley Bonne, like I say, 11 goals in I think 23 games or something for Ipswich, which is not too bad. He is a goal scorer. We need a striker, and maybe QPR are willing to get rid of him on the cheap. And of course, I think before that, he was, of course, when he was at QPR, he scored in his debut for QPR, and then it just didn't really work out for him. He found himself falling down the pecking order, and that is why, you know, he's out on loan at the moment with Ipswich. Prior to that, though, for Leyton Orient, he was there for a good, I think, 2 or 3 years maybe. 90 appearances, 45 goals. So that's a goal every other game. So if you give him a run of games, then and in a team that do create chances, and we do create chances, he could end up being an absolutely class signing if it is true and if we do get hold of him. So would I be against signing Macauley Bonne? No, absolutely I would not. But I would rather get someone who's got that sort of raw pace to get in behind, and Bonne for me doesn't quite fit the bill in terms of that kind of player. But you know, he's a good striker in the lower leagues. He's a good striker. I'm not going to deny that. But I think, like I say, I've got my standards quite high and my hopes set quite high as well, given that Broadhead is the one that's injured, and we're pretty much replacing Broadhead because of the injury to him. So I'm really just you know, it's going to be difficult to replace him. And Macauley Bonne, I would take it. I won't be too disgruntled at it. And you know, he scored 11 goals in 23 appearances, almost a goal every other game anyway for Ipswich. So would he really come to us? I don't know. There's been a few statements across Twitter or social media in general. I don't know whether it is fact. It's just a couple of times I've read that he's actually an Ipswich fan. So whether he would actually want to leave Ipswich, I don't know. But I suppose at the end of the day, it's kind of down to QPR. If QPR want to cut that loan short, that's absolutely, you know, it's up to them. It's not up to Ipswich at all. So if we obviously put in a bid high enough to get him off the books, I don't know whether it would be a short-term deal, a 12-month deal, 2-year deal, I don't know. For me, signing Macauley Bonne would very much be a short-term deal, in my eyes anyway, or at least I would hope it would be. You know, maybe it's a loan deal with a view to a permanent, depending on whether we get out of the league, something like that, I'm not too sure. But for me, Macauley Bonne would be very much a short-term deal, in my eyes anyway. But it's all still rumours, but there are some pretty higher-end journalists that are reporting this rumour. So it is between Wigan and Sunderland, apparently. I wouldn't be too gutted if he ended up going to Wigan. I really wouldn't. But, you know, I'd absolutely happily take him. Now, something else that has happened today is that a statement has come out of Rotherham. Now, Freddie Ladapo has handed in a transfer request. Now, a lot of people immediately, Sunderland fans are going all over it, saying, oh, he's coming to Sunderland, he should come to Sunderland, he should do this, he should do that. For me, I think he's definitely waiting out for a championship club. But would I take him at Sunderland? Yes, I would. It was only a couple of years ago, I think, or 2 or 3 years ago, whenever it was, when he was at Plymouth, and I was saying that we should definitely go for him. You know, he does have that little bit of pace, strength, to get him behind the defence. He scored, I can't remember how many he scored. He has been scoring for Rotherham. He has got double figures, I believe. But they do have Smith up top for Rotherham, who is getting, you know, is the front of the pecking order at all times. He's the sort of golden child there up top, isn't he? And Ladapo isn't starting week in, week out. You know, he's known, you know, Ladapo, he don't have a great first touch and stuff like that, but he's got that strength, and he does have that goal-scoring ability if you keep giving him the chances in League One. But for me, he's a little bit too similar to Ross Stewart. But I say, you know, having 2 brick shit houses up top, would that really be a terrible idea? Maybe not. I don't think it would be, but I would absolutely, you know, I'd probably be more happy, to be fair, with Ladapo than Macauley Bonne, and that's just my opinion, to be honest with you. But like I say, Macauley Bonne, he is a goal scorer. I'm not gonna, you know, look down my nose at that at all. But Ladapo is someone who I think fits the bill a little bit more as to what we do need. And you know, towards the back end of last season, we did see 2 relatively similar plays in Charlie Wyke and Stewart played together. We only got a glimpse of it against Lincoln in the semi-final, and they look like they worked together really, really well. Of course, you've got Stewart, who I personally, you know, I'm not digging out Wyke because I'm just over that, obviously. But, you know, for me, Stewart is a much more well-rounded player than Wyke. You know, he's got the sort of the height and the strength, but he also has the pace and the intelligent runs off the ball as well, Stewart, whereas Wyke is simply putting the ball in the box, and he generally gets there, which isn't a bad thing. But if you add someone like a Ladapo with Stewart, I think it'd add even more to it. So again, it's just pure speculation, absolutely. But yeah, so that'll be pretty much it for today. So Will Harris, of course, he's going to Barrow. All the best to him. I hope he bags a ton of goals and comes back a new player. You've got Macauley Bonne. What do you guys think of the potential signing of him? Is he someone who you would definitely like to see the club sign? As well, of course, Ladapo. For me, this is just clutching at straws, really. A few people have been commenting on the post of from Rotherham, of course, saying that he has handed in a transfer request. Would you like to see him come to the club? Again, I think it's going to be him waiting out for a championship club to come from. I don't think he'll be coming to Sunderland. I haven't really heard or seen anything more on Patrick Roberts. There's been a couple of, you know, pages on social media that I wouldn't really trust. You know, I don't trust them as far as I could throw them, do you know what I mean? Saying that it's getting really, really close, but nothing confirmed as of yet. So you guys let me know in the comments down below what you think about all of the news we've covered today. But if you have enjoyed, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. Hit that like button. It always is, like I say, appreciated. And subscribe if you're new to the channel, if you're not already, to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.